Anything else on the list?
Their G2A is in the news. Did you guys want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. What exactly is going on with G2A?
All right. Well, G2A is like one of those like discount game sellers, right? You can go onto their website and usually for heavily discounted prices buy, Steam codes for a game that you might want to buy. So like, the game might be $20 instead of $40, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's always been controversy around them because the story is that most of these game codes are stolen somehow, either by credit card fraud or, I don't even know how you steal game codes, to be honest.
Yeah, right.
Credit card fraud, I know, is a big part of it, is that people will steal a credit card, buy a bunch of game codes, put them on G2A, sell them, and then people buy them at a discounted price. But then, when people realize that their credit card was stolen, they charge it back. So all these game codes get sold, but the developers don't actually make any money off of this. The only people making money are the people that stole their credit card in G2A.
Yikes.
Right, so it's a super shady business model.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, I mean, that's the story. I can't confirm that. Like, I don't know how they get their game codes other than that, and I don't even know that that's how they get their game codes.
Any of you guys ever bought off of G2A?
No,
neither have I.
Back way back in the day, like before I this was talk like back in the day before we sort of like knew much about what they do. But then now it's much more like. Because I remember for a while there were a lot of people that used to have them as their early days of YouTube. Everyone used to be like, "Oh yeah, sponsored by G2A,"
right.
And then it kind of came out and saw what they do, and it's like
Twitch streamers used to be all over Twitch. G2A used to sponsor everybody.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the history of G2A. Why they're back in the news? There was also like a couple weeks ago, a developer was on Twitter saying like, "We would rather you pirate our game than buy a G2A copy because we don't want you supporting G2A and we're not making any money either way." Wow. That's how developers feel about G2A. So the reason they're in the news again is because they sent out a letter to publications, like to gaming websites. Apparently around 10 or so websites got this letter. And what it was asking for was they had written an article about G2A, and they wanted it to be, published on these websites, these gaming websites. But they specifically didn't want it to be called sponsored content, even though they were going to pay for this to be
to
be put on the website,
which is already illegal.
Yeah, right. Further shady business practices.
Yeah, like super, super shady. And the wording of the email says like that they're sending out a transparent and unbiased pre-written article about stolen game keys and asking sites to publish it. But they quote, without being marked as sponsored or marked as associated with G2A. So they wanted this article published. And they were willing to pay to have it published, but they specifically didn't want anybody to know that they wrote the article or that they were paying to have it published.
That's just against the law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just huge red flags. That is, oh, wow.
Wow.
Did anyone publish it? Were there any sites that went?
No, I don't think so. I think we would know.
Yeah.
Because that would have
caught red-handed, right? Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
That is weird, man. I mean, it sounds super shady. I mean, I get it. Like if you got really tight funds and you see an option to get a game that you really want to play for super cheap, I understand the appeal, obviously.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but if a developer is telling you they'd rather have you pirate it than pay G2A for it, that's pretty telling.
Yeah. That's straight up shady business right there.
Yeah.
It's weird that they're still in business. Are they just like operating in a country that just doesn't care?
I do not have enough backstory about them as a company to know.
I guess it'll be one of those things where like the reason they're still in business is like ultimately, despite it's that unfortunate reality where despite things being bad, people still go for convenience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like even though people, I'm sure a lot of people that purchase on there don't have necessarily the knowledge of all that stuff, and they'll just be like, I'm not buying this game off there because, I mean, as you said, like they'll be like, I'm not buying this game off there to hurt someone. They'll just be like, well, it's cheaper, and that's all I can afford right now. So a lot of people probably don't know, and as a result of that, they probably have a huge amount of traffic from those kind of people. So that's probably what keeps them going and allows them to kind of keep going. If there was some way of like letting every single person know, it's like physically stop buying from here, they would obviously go down very soon. But I think it's that kind of weird. Well, it's the online space, right? It's just people, not many people know in the grand scheme of things. Like obviously we see these articles, but like how many people that buy on that website actually go looking at gaming news and actually see those things?
Totally, yeah.
So,
I mean that definitely makes sense. It's just weird that they're able to get away with what seems to be a lot of shady business practice.
Yeah, well, it's super fucked up too because you can, if you buy from G2A, you like a game code. Like let's say you buy a Steam key from G2A, they actually will offer insurance on that Steam code to make sure it works, because the likelihood of having going to put the Steam code in and having it be an unactivated Steam code because the chargeback already happened on the stolen credit card is so high.
That is crazy.
So they have a business model based around the fact that this is a shady business practice.
Which I believe they then charge you for their extra insurance, right? So you have to
yes,
pay
they
more.
do. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
what a weird business. How are they still in business? How, like, you would think that like Steam would crack down on that.
Yeah,
right?
I guess once you get the code, because I guess there's no way of knowing, like, because a code is just a code, right? There's no way of knowing where you got it from. So I guess like if you buy that for Steam and you put it in somewhere, I guess the code itself is just the game, right? So I guess there's no way of knowing, oh, this guy bought it from G2A.
I think they do know. Steam does know, but they're hesitant to take stuff away from gamers, even though like the gamer bought the thing.
Oh, right.
As far as their
G2A, concerned, they put money into it.
They made a legitimate purchase, bought a game at G2A, got a Steam code. So Steam goes in and takes that game away because they used a stolen credit. Or, the Steam code was bought with a stolen credit card. Mm-hmm. That just looks shitty for Steam.
Yeah.
So Steam's kind of, I think, caught in a rough place there. Maybe that's what Steam needs to do, is just take a hard line on it, though.
Yeah, it seems like if there's a chargeback on a card, they should just null those codes just straight up, and then.
Well, they do, but if you've already used it on Steam, they don't take your game away.
Right.
But they do nullify the code. So if the chargeback happens before you put your code in, then it just won't work.
Got it. Okay.
Right. Okay.
So
and that's why G2A sells insurance on the codes.
So there's enough time transpiring that people are able to buy this code, use it from GTA, and then a chargeback happens on that card like a week or two later or something that would nullify the code, but it's already been used because it was purchased off of G2A.
Yeah.
That sounds like a yikes.
That fucked up.
That is super. Like,
I just can't believe they literally said in an article like, "Hey, please publish this. Here's some money. Please don't say it."
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's crazy.
There is an update to the story, is that there was an email that was sent out by G2A. Oh no, they said on Twitter. Okay, this is a quote from G2A on Twitter. These emails were sent out by our employee without authorization, for which we apologize.
Of course they were.
To Indie Games Plus and the 9 other media outlets he sent this proposal to. He will face strict consequences, as this is absolutely unacceptable.
He will strictly rise the ranks to the executive position.
Yeah.
Bad. You don't get to work now. You get to go to the executive chair. Unbelievable.
Blame it on Jimmy the intern. Like, oh yeah. He
totally.
was in charge of our social media account today.
Yeah.
Gee, sorry guys.
You worked in the mail room, the digital mail room.
Oh dear. Yeah, that is.
That's messed up.
Yeah, honestly. So the whole thing is just crazy, and it's kind of this like continuing saga of G2A. And there's other companies like this. This is just the one that seems to be like the most popular one, so it gets the most press.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like Steam just kind of has to take like a hard stance on it. I get it that it's like really lame if you bought money or spent money on that and then redeemed a code and then had it revoked. But like at the same time, you're going to GTA and maybe you need to do some more research on where you're getting your keys from.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's just a problem at Steam too. I think that like you can buy codes for like the Ubisoft store, the EA
Oh,
store.
really? Yeah. So this is common practice right now.
Yeah.
Interesting. Maybe they need some sort of verification thing with codes. This would probably get all messed up, but like if they had some sort of encryption thing with codes that kept track of the information that was supposed to be with it. So if that information didn't verify with the code that was originally purchased with it, then they'd be like, well, you're not the person.
This is starting to sound an awful lot like always online copy protection.
I know. That's why, yeah, and that's bad too. That doesn't help.
Yeah.
This is why they have these like overly convoluted keys to prevent piracy that ultimately breaks the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to go back like the old days where you got to find page 5 of the manual, paragraph 4, word 3, letter 2.
What does it say?
Or just go back to the physical age, right? Let everyone just physically buy their games in this.
Yeah.
Done.
Or
go back to cartridges.
It generates an email, and you have to go to that email of the original purchase and look at like line 42, character 7. What does it say?
Yeah, but then you can't like gift games. Like
that's true.
It's kind of a cool feature on Steam that you can like give a friend a game. Like.
Yeah.
True.
I guess you could, but
they can make a different system instead of the key system.
Yeah. I kind of think you're right though, Tefty. I think like if you bought a game off a site like this and it proves to be a code bought with a stolen credit card, I think Steam should feel okay about taking that game away.
Yeah, I mean it's a shady business.
That's going to discourage people from going to places like that.
Exactly. If enough people find out that if you bought from such and such place and you lost your product, lost money, then enough people are going to be like, don't ever buy from there. And then they lose their business.
Right. And now, like, what publication out there now is ever going to defend G2A?
Yeah, right.
Like, who would dare, right? Even if it's like their favorite service and they feel like they've changed everything. Everything shady is now gone from G2A. And Jason Schreier knows it. The fuck he's gonna write an article about it.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna be like, you took the money.
Bought and paid for.
Right? Oh my god.
That's interesting.
I think they could have a system where it's just like where you just have physical you just have like registered retailers online. If you're not a registered retailer, you like physically can't sell codes. So it just limits the store output, and then people can just be like, in the same way you go to a website and it's like, hey, this website is safe to use your MasterCard on, right? I mean, whether there's like a system they could put in place, but like this site is approved to sell codes.
But what's happening though is that they're literally taking secondhand codes. So there's no system involved to like, you know what I mean? Like those codes are already sold, and then the chargeback happens. But like,
no, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like buying a code off of Craigslist.
Yeah,
but they're guaranteeing it because they have so many that they can go and like, oh, let's give you another one if that one doesn't work.
Well, for an extra $3 there.
Oh, that's hilarious. Actually, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, that's tough. Like, yes, I've saved $3 on this. Hey, don't forget to buy our insurance, man.
That code might not work. If it doesn't, that $3 will cover you. Oh, that's weird, man. Yeah.
Yeah, that's super weird. It's yeah.
Strange.
I don't even know what to say about it, really. It's like, it pretty much explains itself as far as I'm concerned.
It does. Yeah. Again, I totally get the allure because if your budget is super tight and you only have like $15 for a game, but you really want to play that game that's like charging $50. I don't know if that's the cut, right, or whatever, but like,
especially if you're ignorant to the fact that the game developers aren't getting the money, right? Like, like if you're like, hey, like I don't make a lot of money, but I really want to play this Assassin's Creed game. It's $60 if I buy it on Steam or Ubisoft. But hey, this website over here has it for $20. It's not like I'm stealing. I'm buying a legitimate, like I'm paying legitimate money. I'm making a transaction.
You're a customer.
I'm not stealing. Yeah, I'm not pirating. I'm not stealing.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, man. It's like pawn shop stuff. You don't know if that was sold or not. Or, if you don't know if it was stolen, where they got it. Like, that's why serial numbers existed to look things up of who owned it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I write my name and address on everything I own. An indelible marker. I scratch it in with a Bowie knife.
Scratch it in with an X-Acto knife.
This was stolen from
this time, this date.
Register all your product with the police department so they know. They look up your serial numbers.
People do that with like expensive stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's the thing. I bought a piece of gear long time ago, and it got flagged, and somebody was like, "Oh, this was actually stolen 10 years ago from a studio." And I was like, "Wow,
really?"
And I bought it off of eBay. Yeah.
Damn.
It happens. Yeah.